At the start of the eventing year, all roads lead to Adelaide. In the Southern Hemisphere, this is the biggest stage of all, in one of the most iconic settings in the world.
It's unique to be in the middle of the city.
Adelaide plays host to the opening event of the FEI Global Series.
This is our only 5-star in the Southern Hemisphere, so it's extremely important for us in Australia and the New Zealanders.
These 5 stars symbolise the pinnacle of equestrianism. There's no higher level the horse and rider can aspire to.
Hugely important. We're super lucky to have a 5-star down here.
3-day eventing is often described as the triathlon of horse sports. The 3 phases of dressage, cross-country and show jumping designed to test the skill, strength and stamina of horse and rider. Victoria Park is the setting for day 1, a venue that has hosted horse sports since 1876.
Dressage is a combination of training and certainly a natural ability. Some horses naturally look beautiful.
The audience will be on the edge of their seats to see how the judges' marks affect the leaderboard. But it will be the cross-country, as always, that brings out the crowds in the biggest numbers to Adelaide's parklands.
It's such a unique event being in the city. We all love it.
British designer Mike Edrington-Smith has produced a course that will test the trust, determination and courage of horse and rider.
It's the highest level in the sport in the world, so the guys have got to come here with their A game on.
With over 6 kilometres to cover and 46 obstacles to conquer, this is the ultimate challenge and a course full of character. The open, flowing sections of Victoria Park. The electric atmosphere around the Rymel Park Lake.
The atmosphere is ridiculous.
The crucial Stag Corner in the shadows of the boutiques and cafes of busy Rundle Street. And the brush corners of the Rose Garden, where speed and accuracy are key. All linked up by road and creek crossings that connect Adelaide's beautiful parklands. It's where razor-sharp reflexes are required, all the while brushing the eucalyptus trees and dodging olive and pepper tree branches that hang above. This is a venue where there's nowhere to hide, where some will just hope to finish, where the skillful will thrive. The Gillian Rolton Arena in Victoria Park plays host to the final phase.
It's a different feeling, it's very exciting, nerve-wracking.
Where a clean and fast round will put them in the running for the biggest prize pool in the Southern Hemisphere.
I'm absolutely here to win. I love winning.
This is a 4-day celebration of equestrianism. This is where champions are made. This is the Adelaide Equestrian Festival. Welcome to South Australia, home to a rich tapestry of natural beauty and wildlife. It's also home to fine wine, and this year continues a long tradition in hosting the elite of eventing. Hello and welcome to the Adelaide Equestrian Festival, day 1, and we're here in the Gillian Rolton main arena, Victoria Park, for the dressage. Sitting alongside me, it's been a 3.5-year hiatus, Sarah, but we're back, and we're back with a bang.
Absolutely, the first 5-star in the 2023 eventing season, so all eyes will now be on Adelaide as we have Shane Rose and Be My Daisy. They averaged a 7.3 across each of the movements in this test, and Helen Christie, Christian Steiner and Pollyanne Huntington all really enjoyed this test and had him in 3rd position going into day 2 of competition.
Yeah, he certainly impressed the judges, as too did this man, Sam Lyle, and the ever-young 19-year-old BF Velour.
BF Velour just scoring a 1.2 in head of Shane Rose and Be My Daisy, so nothing in it. Line ball, that's about 3 seconds across the country. And we can see there by BF Velour, nice little exhale in his canter work, just showing just how relaxed he is. As they go canter half past to the centre line, and the eagle eyes of Helen Christie at sea will see whether this flying change is straight. And indeed it was, so really well marked and a lovely test to watch.
Les Limpus there in the background. Les, huge part of the furniture here. A small army of volunteers that make this so special, this event. Monica Spencer, though, with the 18-year-old artist, came in later on in the day. And Sarah, this was a test that we love watching.
Absolutely, it's a beautiful test. That just the whole picture is relaxed and in unison. And I have a lovely way of describing horses going from one transition to another is rather like watching a wave onto the sand. It goes into a smaller pace or a larger pace, but always forward. And certainly Artist and Monica, a wonderful team, as you just see them go into their extended canter and they come back to a collected canter within the 3 beats. Lovely job. They're looking very relaxed as they come into the final halt. And the New Zealander heading up the leaderboard for this Adelaide CCI 5-star.
Well, let's have a look at that leaderboard, and it is Monica Spencer out in front. Artist for New Zealand, 24.0. 1.6 behind is Sam Lyle and BF Valor. In third, former winner Shane Rose and Be My Daisy, 26.4. Shane also lies in fourth place with Virgil. The Horseland Cross Country Day dawned bright and the crowds poured in through the gates. They came from all over Australia and the world to watch the world's best. Something for everyone, Cross Country Day never disappoints. So let's have a look at Mike Etherington Smith 2023 cross country course. It twists around the parklands and we cross over 2 main intersections of road. But from Victoria Park, they jump themselves across for the first time into what is Wakefield Road, over Wakefield Road, and into Park 15. Away from Park 15, this is where the serious jumping takes place, over in Rymore Park, Stag Corner, Rose Garden, and of course the water, which they jump through on 2 occasions. Back over Bartels Road into Park 15, back over Wakefield, and then it is on to the finish. A tough track it will be, a distance of 6,270 metres, and it's 11 minutes, the optimum time. So let's have a look at some of those fences with Stuart Tinney.
Okay, so here we are at fence 6, which is the first sort of real combination in the 5-star in Victoria Park here at Adelaide, and we've done some lovely big long galloping to get here, and this is the first little bit of a mogul, a bit of terrain. We go up, pop down over the church there at number 5, and then come around here and do the same thing here at 6. Bit of a big drop off at the end. Some riders and horses get a little unbalanced, and then we go down and jump 2 little narrow intricate fences down there, so we need to be in control and in balance. Okay, we're here at 17AB, which is a double of corners or apexes. We've come from the water jump and we've come right up into the corner of 2 big roads in the intersection. I'm going to head back towards the city. So these corners or apexes, they're really fat on one side and really skinny on the other, so it encourages the horse to come right. And if they're well trained, they'll stay straight, and even though the angle's tough, they'll stay on the line and jump them well. Okay, here we have 24ABC in the 5-star, so it's a hollows fence, so we jump this vertical here, down over a ditch and off to the brush, so it's about keeping a really good straight line while the jumps are on angles. This is a new frangible technology. It has a hinge here, so if we hit this jump hard enough, it actually falls down, so it's quite safe. And being A, B and C, if we have a problem or circle, we get 20 penalties because we have to stay straight all the way through here. After these few jumps here, they get a nice big long gallop and a few more jumps and then another big gallop home. So if they're still fresh enough and they've got enough canter left, we can actually make up a bit of time after this fence.
Well, great to hear from Stuart Tinney, and what better man to see us on our way around Mike Etherington Smith's 5-star. It is, of course, Shane Rose, former winner in 2004 with Beaufort Missed Your, former winner 2015, and he is back. And Shane, no better man, bit of a spooky jump, Sarah, at the first.
Very much so. She's a young horse, Be My Daisy, and certainly gave that first fence a look. Shane has said that Be My Daisy does get into the rhythm of cross country, but certainly looks so now as she jumps those big brush corners up at the Rose Garden, the turning section of the course.
Yeah, a little rattle of the reins as he leaves the Rose Garden, comes back down to this impressive head of the lake for the second time.
And another little shy there from Be My Daisy, all getting in a deep spot too into the South Australia Angle Lodge before heading over these sea horses. So very experienced piece of riding there by Shane Rose guiding Be My Daisy as they now come towards the Adelaide Arch as their final fence.
Well, that optimum time, 11 minutes, and Shane just over that time allowed. And he incurs 10.4 time to add to his dressage, and that will drop him down a couple of places. Andrew Cooper, Andrew with Hey Arnold up at the church, and then he'll turn back to this tough combination, Sarah, first combination.
Yes, it's a very big oxer on the top of a hill. And a large drop there, and AC just losing his line. It's a 4 or 5 stride there, and you can see Hey Arnold just ducking out to the right, representing now. Very difficult to do with only one flag on a skinny, but Andrew Cooper showing all his professional credentials, guiding Hey Arnold clear the second time.
Sophia Hill and Humble Glory about to leave the Bates start box, but prior to her cross-country round, we caught up with her out on the cross-country with her very informative walks.
Oh, I'm just so excited to be here, and a bit of a dream come true really. I've always wanted to do a 5-star, and here we are with my little thoroughbred off the track, so yeah, very exciting. Oh, it's definitely noticeably more difficult than at our normal 4-stars, and I think Adelaide's quite unique. It's very twisting and turning, and you've got these road crossings. There's no other event like it, and you can't really prepare for it. I think it's so important. It's a stepping stone for Australian riders to prove ourselves that we can compete at this level, and yeah, very important before, I guess, going overseas or attacking any of those bigger 5-star events. So yeah, it's so great to have Adelaide back on the calendar, and it's such a unique event being in the city. We all love it. My family all loves coming and watching. Like, it's just an amazing event every year.
The sport of eventing I loved from a kid. I grew up chasing kangaroos in the bush, and it's the closest thing in competition to that. Galloping at speed over fixed obstacles, the relationship you have to obtain with your horse to be able to get them to do what you want them to do without ever seeing the fences, the trust that they have in you. It's amazing.
CP qualified, Shane Rose, the winners of the Adelaide CCI 4-star.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to have won the event twice before, in 2004 and then in 2015 I had a really good weekend running first and second with CP qualified and Virgil. It was his first 5-star back then, and this could well be his last, so looking forward to it. I'm absolutely here to win. I love winning, and I've got 2 really, really nice horses. I think they've both got a good chance of doing well. If I can pilot them around well, then I think I'll be close when it comes to that 3rd day, and hopefully I've done a good enough job to be on top.
Always good to hear from a former winner, but Sophia Hill and Humble Glory, they've gone out, Sarah, meaning absolute business.
They have. This combination have been on a red-hot winning streak in Victoria, coming to their first 5-star, and I know Sophia will be keen to leave no stone unturned at the South Australia Racing Hollows there, and no problems whatsoever. So looking like they're keeping their foot very firmly on the plate, and yes indeed, as they head to the final fence, the Adelaide Arch, no jumping, and the only combination to date, no time.
Yeah, this former off-the-track thoroughbred by the wonderful Bernardini, who sired 16 individual Group 1 winners. No problems with them, and I think they were the only ones, Sarah, that were inside the time. Monica Spencer, Artist, they set out with that very good dressage 24.0. They're at the South Australia Grown Garden, the Horseshoe at 1, and she's on her way. Kiralee Hosier, AEA Flynn. Well, this lady crowd-funded to come here to Adelaide. She's at the water on the return, and she's also herself a forensic scientist, so a bright girl and a very good rider in the saddle.
And oh my goodness, we just see the loose artist with Monica Spencer not in the plate. There she is, talking to Jock Padgick, the New Zealand team coach, and discussing the situation of having a fall at fence 4, devastating for that combination, having led into this phase.
Diane Gilder and your attorney coming back to the head of the lake, jumping that SATC angled log, and then the horses, those seahorses, taken a bit by surprise.
I wonder if the enormous crowds here has put that combination off as they make their way across the road back into central of the course.
I would think they can only but help because they're so enthusiastic, the crowds. Kenya Wilson and Sandro Salute MW jumping themselves into trouble, Sarah.
Yes, losing her knitting over the first oxer, having to do a turnaround, get her knitting back, and jumps cleanly the second time through. That would just cost them time, and it wasn't judged to have been crossing her tracks, and so no 20 penalties. And then she heads now down into the water for the second time and makes absolutely nothing of the big crowds that now surround the Rymel Lake.
Yeah, very enthusiastic crowd it is. Kenya Wilson, Sandro Salute, MW. Great round for them, just 1.6 time penalties, 4 seconds over that optimum time to leave them in 4th place overnight. A very talented rider from Western Australia with a very bright future ahead.
I guess I could say I'm an adrenaline junkie. I love horses, I love training horses, seeing their development. They're amazing animals, how they learn, and that partnership with them. And then the added benefit of being able to have so much fun out on the cross country and putting it all together. It's definitely what I love doing. It's not my job, it's what I love. This is our only 5-star in the Southern Hemisphere, so it's extremely important for us down here in Australia and the New Zealanders. So it's really exciting to have a huge event like this with incredible atmosphere as well.
I love coming to Adelaide. Love being here in the sort of city part of it and the vibe of the event. There's a city, just riding your bike around for the shops and things, it's beautiful. Yeah, I love everything about this event. I mean, 5 stars are the pinnacle of the sport. To be able to compete here and pushing the case towards the Olympics rather than the cost of having to go overseas, look, I think it's vital that we try and keep it, yeah.
Now Sam Lyle riding BF Avella.
I think his strength is he tries hard. He's a nice person, you know. If he was a person, you'd want to be mates with him. That's probably the thing when I enjoy the sport the most, when you go out and you know your horse has really tried hard for you. And a horse like this I've trained pretty much since the very start. If you feel that, oh geez, that horse has tried really hard for me and you know you've played a big part in training him, it feels great, yeah, that trust and that effort they can sometimes make to help you out, it's just unreal.
It truly is unreal. Well, Sam Lyle out there on the cross country with BF Velour.
Yes, heading up now to the turning part of this course, up at the Rose Garden. This is the brush of corners on the left rein. It's fence 17 A and B. It's been a few years since Sam has competed at 5-star, and he looks like he's having a beautiful, confident round. Heading down now into the South Australia angle log. No problem there. Caused a few horses to speak earlier, but the seahorses, no problem. Lovely job there for this combination as they gallop away from Rymel Park.
Well, Sam coming to the tail end of his cross-country round. He's got many feathers in his cap. He's not only an Olympic coach, but also a man that is doing an amazing job here. Just a few seconds over that optimum time. He couldn't really afford those. 20 seconds for 8 time, 0.4 to add for every one of those over the optimum time. Now it is the turn of Shane Rose and the 17-year-old Virgil, former 2-time winner, and he knows his way round the parklands of Adelaide like the back of his hand.
Yes, he's been out already, of course, on Be My Daisy, but this time with the old campaigner. This combination have been together for a very long time now. They jumped the Adelaide Church, make the right-hand turn, sets up now for this oxer at the top, conservative jump down, lovely control piece of riding there. Does a lovely job, really foot perfect through those 2 skinnies. And you can see the combination has a wonderful connection of the years together, just going through this water complex for the second time. The seahorses, and you can just see the ears of Virgil just flickering backwards and forwards, listening to the instructions by Shane, and then locking on when they get to see their next fence. Beautiful job there for this combination. As they're coming 3 fences from home, the Bates houses out there in front of the heritage stand, and they still look fit and well, full of running.
I have to say, these two look absolutely unstoppable. Virgil, 17 years old, true testament to the team behind Shane Rose, wife Nikki and his grooms, for this horse looking in peak condition. And just 1 second over, he keeps the pressure on overnight, 0.4 to add. Well, to the leaderboard, Shane Rose, he leads with Virgil, 28.5. Sam Lyle now second, BF Valor, 33.6. Shane in third as well, 2 stabs at the cherry. Be My Daisy in third, 36.8, with Kenya Wilson in fourth. Paramount is horses' welfare. The misters, the fans were going at the end of cross country, and they were all so well looked after. They are the stars of the show.
So I'm at Adelaide in my ambassador role for the VRC to support the welfare of racehorses post-racing. As we know, there are plenty of racehorses that come off the track and they may come off at 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, but that's the prime age for us to be able to recycle them into plenty of equestrian disciplines. And these 3 disciplines are very different. So the dressage is about being able to teach a horse to do a whole heap of movements and get that trust and relaxation and do them like a ballet routine. And for a thoroughbred, that can be a little bit tricky because they can be a little bit hotly wired, but then they're so incredibly elegant. And you'll see Monica Spencer in the 5-star won the dressage with an absolutely exquisite test. The cross country for a thoroughbred, I think, is a thoroughbred's natural wheelhouse. So that ability to gallop, the ability to be super brave, to be fast, and also to recover from that effort because that's what they're bred to do. And the show jumping being the last discipline, they've got to be able to stand up after those first 2 days to this last competition, and thoroughbreds are usually so tough that they will easily make their 3 days. The Victoria Racing Club supports a whole heap of equestrian competitions for thoroughbreds, and this weekend at Adelaide they are sponsoring the best performed thoroughbred in the 3-star and the 5-star. So the thoroughbreds are very versatile, and it's lovely to see we can support them across a variety of disciplines.
Well, the day started with the Racing South Australia CCI 3-star long format. Well, the difference between the 5, the 3 and the 4 is the lower level. We're at intermediate level now with the 3-star, and that long format meaning that they go a lot further across the country than the short format 4-star that we'll see later on. Didn't go to plan for everybody on the cross country. And this is exactly what Stuart Tinney had designed. The 3-star course designer, and there were falls at the last, the first, and all mistakes. Jess Summerfield, though, Finch Farm, Carpentaria, were lying in 4th place, Sarah, overnight, after a wonderful cross-country round.
Yes, she had a lovely ride on both her horses across the country. as Molly Lyons and Tadpole move from their 6th place after dressage into 3rd with a clear jumping and no time cross-country round. Erin Callahan also moved up after the first phase from 4th place into 2nd with another combination to go, clear and under time. Oliver Barrett and Sandhill Specials were our leader after the first phase, of course being very ably coached by Prue Barrett, his mother, and rides very alike his father Craig Barrett, who of course has won here at 5-star level. So he pops into the water for the 2nd time for the CCI 3 stars and jumps into day 3 of competition, maintaining his lead.
Yeah, it was a super round cross-country, and with parents in Prue and Craig Barrett, no pressure going into the show jumping. Well, show jumping, again, it was a beautiful day, Sarah. Jess Summerfield and Finch Farm Carpentaria going into the show jumping in 4th place, and they rise up the ranks.
Yes, with a clear jump and no time to add, they assured no worse place than 3rd. Molly Lyons and Tadpole, however, fortunately just had what we would call a miss. They were able to put that behind them and continued just with those penalties. Erin Callahan and Danson Lincoln, however, added absolutely nothing to their score and was one of only 2 in the competition to finish on their dressage, the other being Samuel Jeffrey.
And so to the final competitor. Going in reverse order, all the pressure is on this young man's shoulder, Sarah.
Yes, Oliver Barrett. He had only 2 time penalties across the country yesterday, but led after the dressage. He needs to leave everything up.
Yeah, even more pressure when you go into the show jumping. Lots of people here as well on the final day. But he jumps himself clear to take the 2023 Racing South Australia CCI 3-star title. And the crowd absolutely loved it. So too did coach and mother Prue, who was one of the first to congratulate this young man. History was made, and a day that he will not forget for a very long time.
This is the biggest event in our country. I've always wanted to ride here, and this is actually the first time I've ever ridden here. Everyone's aim is to come to Adelaide. We all want to come to Adelaide. And, you know, having Dad's won it in the past in the 5-star, and maybe one day I can come back and even win again in the 5-star.
Rounding out cross-country day, it was the RM Williams CCI 4-star short. Jumping themselves around the East Parklands, it was a very strong field of competitors.
Sinead Lowings, Bold Venture, they were 2nd after the dressage. And of course, Bold Venture is Sinead's World Championship ride from Protoni. And they also won the Melbourne CCI 4-star long last year. Olivia Barton and Henrik, they were the leaders after the first phase, and interestingly, Olivia was the groom for Sinead Lowings at Protoni.
And what a wonderful story that is. This very talented young rider. We're going to see a lot more of her, that's for sure. The Horseland Cross Country Day dawned again bright. Wimborne Constable and Catherine Herbert counting their way through the hollow as they gallop through the olive trees towards home.
Yes, and just the Adelaide Arch to finish, and you can see the delight on her face as they complete their course there and rode themselves into 3rd position after their cross-country. Andrew Cooper was very busy, this time riding Shah Valley Thunder into the water, and they jumped after their cross-country round into 2nd position. However, having a lovely ride across the country, Sinead Lowings and Bold Venture into the water very cleanly and leapt from their 2nd place after dressage into the lead, into the show jumping phase.
Bold Venture and Sinead Lowings down to the hollow. Bold by name and bold by nature. She's such a good rider. She sits so quietly, allows the horse to do all the jumping and to the last. And she'll be absolutely delighted with what she sees on her clock as she checks her stopwatch over that last fence. Olivia Barton, the overnight leader, Henrik APH. Well, it didn't all go to plan for Olivia out there on the cross country. A parting of ways up at Rose Garden means that the overnight leader was out.
A really dramatic day on cross country day here in the R.M. Williams CCI, a 4-star short. Certainly moved around in the placings. And we have Sinead Lowings and Bold Venture. They were the last to go. Reverse order, of course, at a 3-day event. And they had 8.4 time. No one reached the time cross country. And although she left all the coloured rails up, she incurred 0.4 of a time penalty. And only other one combination in this class left all those rails up in their cups. He still looks very fresh and full of running, and there's a high amount of tension in front of a hugely packed grandstand and a big atmosphere.
And Sarah, does that have an impact on the horses? I mean, we've got a huge crowd in the Heritage Grandstand and the VIP area. It just all adds to the excitement.
Yes, it certainly does. It means that these horses and riders have the opportunity to ride like you would internationally with big crowds and a big amount of pressure. Sinead Lowings there and Bold Venture finishing in the winning position for the R.M. Williams CCI 4-star.
I've got an amazing horse, Bold Venture, and it's really exciting when things all come together. It's an amazing event. We're very lucky to be able to have an event so close to the city. The organisers and everyone do an amazing job.
Well, they certainly do. The organising team, led by Belinda Lind, the volunteers who give up their time for this Adelaide Equestrian Festival are the unsung heroes. Join us after the break for the finale of the 5-star. It's the show jumping. Welcome back to the final day of the Adelaide CCI 5-star. And the first thing that got underway was the final horse inspection, the second of them, to make sure that the horses were fit, sound and ready to take on the show jumping in a couple of hours' time.
Yeah, leading in today's show jumping, look, I think they're both good jumpers. Virgil's, naturally been an amazing jumper his whole life, so if I do a good job, I'm really confident that he can jump well. It's first time for Daisy running 5-star at $1.30 m, so I'm confident she's going to jump well, but we've never done it before, so we'll find out.
Look, at the start of yesterday, if you've told me I'd get a clear round with 20 seconds over, I would have taken it. Right now I'm going, maybe I should have gone quicker here and there, but look, we'll wait and see what happens in the show jumping today. At the end of the day, if I finish with a good jumping round today, I'll be just thrilled with how it's all gone.
Some amazing action. The Gillian Rolton Main Arena is the venue and the site for the last phase of this equine triathlon. It is the show jumping for the CCI 5-star, and all pressure is on.
So the first combination we actually saw, riding out of order, Shane Rose and Be My Daisy. Now Shane, of course, has Virgil later on in the class, and there he has a rail down, adding an extra 4 penalties to his score.
It takes some jumping, these tracks. I mean, it's up to height, 1.30 meters in height. And on the last day, it can almost feel like you're driving a car with 4 flat tyres. It takes an enormous amount of athleticism with these horses to come in for the final day. A little bit of a stutter there. The last fence goes as well, so it's 8 for jumping for Shane Rose and Be My Daisy. And that will drop them down 1 place.
Coming forward now, Sophia Hill and the off-the-track thoroughbred Humble Glory. They were the only combination yesterday to jump clear and under time. And can she leave all the rails up and be one of the riders to get a finish on their dressage score.
Well, she was super across the country yesterday round the East Parklands, back here in Victoria Park, under the watchful eye of a really enthusiastic crowd. And you never really expect ex-racehorses, former racehorses, to be as clever and nimble and athletic as he is. And he is a perfect example of why the retraining of racehorses is such an important thing. And he's jumped clear to the thrill of Sophia Hill, Humble Glory. That will bring them up from their overnight placing 5th into eventual 3rd.
Kenya Wilson, however, and Sandros Salute now presenting in 4th position after only 1.6 time across the country yesterday. They hail from Gidjiganap in WA, incurring extra 4 penalties there to their score. She wants to leave the rest up to maintain pressure on the next 2 combinations. Just jumping a little by Braille.
Ooh.
And there's a second rail. Unfortunately, that's 8 penalties coming forward. And as mentioned earlier by Spencer, the 3rd day of a 3-day event, the horses just a little tired getting off the ground, adding 2 time as well there. So 10 penalties all up for Kenya Wilson and Sandros Salute in their show jumping. Just drops them back 1 place into 5th.
Sam Lyle and BF Valor. Second last to jump. He has 1 fence over the overnight leader in Virgil and Shane Rose. So he needs to keep the pressure on as he comes into the show jumping. Ooh! Well, I think we can class that as a miss.
Yes, a rather large miss, but incurs still only 4 penalties, whether it's just the top rail or all the rails on the floor. He'll be wanting to just limit that so he doesn't give too much breathing space to the leader Shane Rose and Virgil, who we'll see next in. They already had 4 penalties up their sleeve, now they have 8. That final line here in front of the VIP, and that leaves all 3 up, taking the inside line. And you can feel the tension in the air, completely silent as they come to the final 2 fences on this course. Lovely job there by Sam Lyle and BF Valor. 4 jumping and 0.4 of a time.
So he completes on 38.0. Meaning that coming into the show jumping, Shane Rose, and here's that miss. Ooh, I mean, the horse tried, really did try, but there was just no way in and on earth that he could have taken off from where he put him. So Shane Rose and Virgil, 17 years old, the former winner, 2-time winner, back in 2004 and 2015, with Beaufort Mistior and CP qualified. Only 1 rider in the history has won this title on 3 occasions, and that was Hazel Shannon back in 2016, 2018 and 2019. Can Shane Rose become the second? He has 2 fences in hand.
So 2 fences, just a little bit of a wiggle room there, but I'm sure someone like Shane Rose has his competition nerves well in hand, and this combination have been together a very long time. And they'll know each other inside out. Virgil, a very good jumping horse traditionally. And he certainly looks very fresh and full of running after his exertions cross-country yesterday.
He makes a super shape over a fence, and that's true testament, as I said earlier, to the team at home. And interestingly, Australia not qualified for the Paris Olympic Games. This could be a very useful round for Shane, because for the team, they've got to go abroad, they've got to go to Ireland, to Mill Street, otherwise they've got to run in Nations Cups to collect those points to qualify for Paris. We need Australia at those Olympics. They've won golds before and they need more to their name. And this is a very special horse in Virgil. 2 fences in hand. He doesn't need them because he's jumped the second last. He becomes the 2023 Adelaide International CCI 5-star winner for the 3rd time in the history. What a round.
Yes, absolutely, what a round indeed. That puts him very cleanly in the record books. 3 wins in the CCI 5-star here at Adelaide, this time on the wonderful campaigner Virgil.
Yeah, it really is very special. We know in the history one person has won 3 times, Hazel Shannon, 2016, 18 and 19 on Willingham Park, Clifford. But Shane has now done it, Sarah, in 2004, 2015 and 2023 on 3 different horses.
He has indeed, and that shows what a complete horseman Shane Rose is.
And that also means that he is now qualified for the Paris Olympic Games from that win. An amazing achievement.
That's number 3, Shane. So which one means the most to you?
They're all different. Riding Beaufort Misty Ore in 2004 after the late Robert Slade passed away was an amazing first 5-star. To run 1 and 2 in 2015 with 2 awesome horses was good. Virgil's a freak. Hard to beat this one.
I'm really happy with the horse. I'm super happy with how hard he tried and how good he was all week. So, yeah, I am satisfied with second, but I'm just taking a little bit of shine off it.
Yeah, it's an amazing experience. It's always been a dream to compete here in Adelaide, and to finish in 3rd place on my dressage score is just amazing. So proud of how Huey, or Humble Glory as he's known, jumped today. He tried his heart out for me.
And so to the final standings. It is Shane Rose, who is your 2023 CCI 5-star winner on 28.5 with Virgil. Sam Lyle, 2nd, and Sophia Hill, Humble Glory, in 3rd. To the presentation of awards, Greg Rolton presenting Shane Rose with the winner's trophy, with all of the previous winners' names adorned. It was a very special moment. 3 times he has now won this title. Sarah, what a week. The crowds are back. They've certainly loved it. Record-breaking crowds on Saturday for the cross-country. The weather's helped. It's been brilliant.
It's been a wonderful display of fabulous horsemanship in the centre of the city. It's the only place in the world that you get to see top-class sport in a wonderful setting.
It truly is a wonderful setting. It is unique, and make sure you put the dates in your diary for next year. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon.